weights, whether it's just a set of light weights or a set of heavy weights and light weights, whatever works best for you. Have those within easy reach. And then we're going to start with a basic warm-up, sort of similar to the bar warm-up, only done from a chair. So we're actually going to start with leg lifts. So go ahead, kind of scoot yourself down. So it's just your butt on the chair, lightweight on the feet. So you still have plenty of your solid on the chair. Grab a hold of the sides of the chair, and we're just going to start lifting the legs. So kind of starting with a march and warming up the hip flexors. We're going to do this several times today, but we're going to slowly increase the difficulty by adding weights. So now sitting as tall as you can, again, at the edge of your chair, so you can get as much range of motion as possible, just lifting the knees into a march. Good. And then if you want to try adding a little more difficulty, just like we would from a regular bar class, we're going to add an arm. So we're going to start to pull the arms down. This is where it's important you're at the edge of the chair so you can still sit up nice and tall. So we're not overcompensating by using the back. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to take this to that side knee. So bringing the elbows across the body. So you start to add a little bit of a twist. Start to warm up the oblique. If at any point the march gets to be too much, you can take the march out and just do the twist from the upper body. So kind of building heat, warming up the cardio portion. We've got another 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to come back to just front knees for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, set both feet down. We're going to grab a hold of the chair behind you and take this into a little bit of a back bend. So think about drawing the shoulders down and back, shoulder blades together. You're going to arch the back, lift the chest to the ceiling. Good. Now bring the hands forward to the knees, round the spine like you were going into a cat pose. Stretch the back side of the body. Good. Come up to seated. Take the feet out nice and wide so that you're in sort of a straddle position. Place your right hand on top of the right leg. We're going to take this up and over to a side bend. So as you bend, you might be able to rest the forearm on the right thigh. Come back up. We're going to switch sides. So now the left forearm on the left side, reach the right arm overhead. Good. Come back up. Now we're going to fold. You can rest both forearms on the thighs. You can bring palms, or you might be able to place the fingertips on the ground in front of you. Fold between the legs. Good. Go ahead. Walk your hands back up. And we're going to keep that legs in the wide straddle seats. So we get a little stretch on the inner thighs. We start to open up the hips. We're going to do similar arm warm up that we did last week with the weightless arms before we add weight. So we're going to start with the elbows bent at a 90-degree angle. You're going to lift the elbows so they're the height of the shoulders. Rotate the palms so they face in your direction towards your face. This time we're going to extend the fingers long. Squeeze the fingertips together, squeeze the thumbs into the palms, and then squeeze all the way from the fingertips down to the shoulders. So we even engage the muscles in the back, and then you're going to straighten the arms, bend the arms just to a 90. So we've got it tacked, so we don't go past that 90-degree bend. Think about flexing the biceps as you squeeze in and release. We're going to add a little 1-inch lift to this. So we're going to straighten the arms, bend the elbows, give me a little 1-inch lift, down 1 inch, straight to a 90, Up an inch, down an inch, straight. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to bend the elbows. Now we're going to open the arms. You're going to reach up, pull down. Reach up, pull down. Now imagine you were grabbing a hold of a bar or a rope above your head. And you want to imagine you were drawing that rope behind your head. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades in and together. Another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold this, straighten the arms. We're going to solo cups. You're going to rotate the hands so the palms face behind you. Rotate the hands so the palms face the ceiling. So you're going to rotate thumbs down, rotate palms up, down, and up. Make sure you're still sitting towards the front of your chair so you're sitting nice and tall without rounding the back or rounding the shoulders, collapsing into the tail. First round's always the longest round. So you've got another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, down, up, hold, little flaps, up. Those little bird wings, just little flaps to the ceiling. 1 inch either direction, not large. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to flap the palms forward. Again, just little tiny movement. Arms are mostly straight, but keep a slight bend in the knees so we're never locking the elbow. Last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to take it down, little flap down. Again, hands should be about the height of the shoulders. They can go lower if you're feeling pain in the shoulder itself. 7, 6, 5, 4. Last thing from here, we're taking the palms back. So last thing in this round, pressing back. Back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the palms forwards. Wrap your right arm over the top of your left. Give yourself a big hug. Pull back against the shoulder blades, round the spine, and open the back side of the shoulders. Good. Go ahead, open, and we're going to switch sides now, left over right. Give yourself a big hug. Round the back, curl in. Good. Again, open. Now we're going to take right arm behind the back, fingers pointing towards the tail, left hand onto the right elbow. Gently guide the right elbow up and back. Make sure your neck is in a neutral position. So if the head doesn't easily fit through the space of the arms, don't push the head forward. It can go behind the arms, and that's fine. From here, you can add a little more by hinging to your left. Good. Bring back to center. We're going to switch sides. Again, if your head doesn't easily go through the arms, try not to strain the neck. So the head can be behind the arms. Does not matter if it's through the arms or not to get the stretch. Good. Come back up, down, give the shoulders a roll. We're going to do that one more time through half the rep, so half time. So again, you're sitting nice and tall, shoulders stacked over your hips. We're going to bend the arms at a 90 degree, raise the elbows the height of the shoulders. This time, straighten the fingers, rotate the palms towards you. You're going to start with a round of 6, 5, always stopping at the 90, never going past. Engage the biceps. Last 2, We're gonna add the little lift. So you're gonna go 90, little lift, down, straight. 90, little lift, down, straight. Last 4, 3, 2. Good. Now we're gonna hold that 90, open. You've got 6, reach up, pull down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold down, straighten the arms. We've got solo cups. So you're gonna rotate up, down, 4, 3, 2, rotate down, rotate up, little flaps up. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, little flaps forwards. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, little flaps down. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, little flaps back. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward. You're gonna give yourself another big hug, round the spine. Again, open, another hug. Good. This time, sit up nice and tall, hands to the knees, drop your chin to your chest, roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. Back chin to chest, left ear over to left shoulder. Good. Come back to center. From here, lift the head. We're going to bring the legs together now. And we're going to go back to that same march movement that we did at the beginning, but now we're going to turn it into a core movement. So again, you're going to sit as far forward as on your chair as you can, but this time you're going to lean back. So you're almost sitting in a boat position in your chair, keeping the spine nice and straight, but leaning back before the back hits the chair. You actually have to use the abdominals to keep your upper body upright rather than the back of the chair. You can lean against the chair though if this at any point is too much. We're going to start by grabbing a hold of the chair. This is level 1, and then we'll add to this. So we're just going to start with an alternating leg lift. And here, my legs aren't quite at a 90, so they're going to be a little wider than a 90, maybe 120 degrees. And that'll activate the core, the hip flexors a little more. So it's just a single leg toe tap. Good. We're going to add on to this. So we're going to lift the right leg, open it, bring it in, set it down. Lift it, open, in, set it down. Again, we're still leaning back. So we force the core to do some of the work and not just the hip flexors, not just the quad. Good. We've got another 5, 4, 3, 2. Sorry, I miscounted. We've got one more each side. Now we're going to go back to just the single lift, keeping the chest lifted, the spine as straight as you can, still leaning back. You're going to continue alternating legs, or we're going to do both legs for a count of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the legs down, sit up nice and tall. Open the legs back out to a wide straddle position. And we're just going to take a fold, bringing the fingertips to the floor, maybe to the legs. You can always let the elbows sort of rest above the knees, and then use the elbows to press the knees open so you stretch out the inner thighs and hips. Good. Go ahead, come back up to seated. Keep the legs in this wide straddle position. So as wide as you can comfortably go. Again, we're going to sit towards the front of the chair so you can sit up nice and tall, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Now grab one of your weights, and we're going to continue with core by taking this into some oblique work. So one weight, and you're gonna hold that weight in both of your hands, however that works for you. Now from here, we're gonna start reaching that weight out over the right leg. You're gonna take it, reach it out over the left leg, bring it up to shoulder height, to the right, to the left. So basically, we're kind of going in this motion side to side. So you're gonna go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. And what I'm doing here is twisting the upper body as I move, keeping your arms relatively straight. Again, we want a soft bend in the elbows, so we're never locking out the elbows themselves. And you're sitting as tall as you can. If lifting the arms, the height of the shoulders is too much, bring the arms down so that it's at a height that's safe for the shoulders. But you're trying to challenge yourself here. So we're strengthening the shoulders, same time we strengthen the oblique. So shoulder height, no higher, and then down towards the leg. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more round. And then we're gonna come back to center. Go ahead, lower the weight, give the shoulders a quick roll. We're not quite done yet. We're gonna go back to another oblique exercise from this chair, wide straddle. So now we're gonna bring that weight up between the palms. So you're gonna hold your weight in either palm, try to lift your elbows the height of your shoulders, and we're gonna go side to side. So you're gonna lower one elbow towards your thigh, use the obliques to lift, and then the other way. Up, down, up, down. And don't think about dropping the elbow to get there. So we're not kind of doing this with the arms. We're going side to side from the waist, keeping the arms in the same position the whole time. Good. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it back up, straighten the arms, roll out the shoulders, set your weight down for now, just briefly. Bring the legs back together at center. We're gonna take a little twist. So you'll bring your right hand back behind your right hip, your left hand across to the outside of your right leg, twist, and look over your right shoulder. Now stay in that twist, bring the right arm up, and then reach it at a diagonal up and over to your left. Good, bring the right hand down to the outside of the left knee, so both arms are crossed. You're gonna round the back, and then pull against the thighs. Keep the right hand on the outside of the left leg, sit up tall, move the left hand behind your left hip, twist, look to the left. Good, bring the left arm up, reach up and over to your right, add a slight diagonal. And then lower the left hand to the right thigh, pull back against the leg, wrists are crossed. And then inhale, sit up nice and tall, release the arms. Grab a hold of your weights once again. Take the legs back out to a straddle. Adjust in your seat again. Make sure you're sitting in a position where you can sit up nice and tall. We're gonna start with a basic bicep curl. So letting the weights rest on top of the thighs, sit up nice and tall. And then we're just gonna curl in. So sort of a halfway motion, curling up to the shoulders and then down to a 90 degrees. So we never release the full weight of the weights or the resistance from the biceps. Curling up and down. Pin the elbows to the sides so we're not shifting forwards and back with the upper arms. And pay attention to any rocking motion in the upper body. With low weight, you generally don't have the rocking motion. That usually comes with a heavier weight. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower to that 90 degree. Open the weights out to the side. Now we're doing a side bicep curl. Same thing, trying to keep the elbows as pinned to the side as you can. Resist the urge to shift the upper arms or go past that 90. So we're never fully going to straight arms. We're keeping the biceps engaged the entire time. Good, you've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the weights down in. Now you're going to point the weights to the ceiling. We're going to bring the weights together right in front of you. So if you can, I can't because I'm using water bottles, but if you can grab both weights in both of your hands together, like crossing the handlebars, that'll work the best. So we're going to do a hammer toss. You're going to start with those weights right at the center of your body around your navel. Then you're going to bring both weights to your right shoulder, back to center, to your left shoulder. So you're just basically going side to side, like you were throwing something over your shoulder. But again, elbows are pinned to the side. So it's not a shoulder movement, it's a bicep movement. So you're not twisting side to side, and the upper arms still don't leave the body. So it's the biceps that are doing the work, not the shoulders. Good, you've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Go ahead, release the weights. Hold on a sec. I think someone's knocking on my door and a security guard just pulled up. So give me 1 second. Weird. I don't know what it was. I heard someone knocking, but there's no one out there. We have lots of Jehovah's Witnesses here. I will have to edit out that part. They like to knock on our door on like 3 days a week. Okay. It's really strange. Now you're just going to grab one of your weights and we're going to do that same core workout, but we're going to add a little bit to it. So rather than grabbing a hold of the chair like we have been doing and lifting the legs, we're going to use the weight. So if this is too much, go back to the version of just grabbing a hold of the chair. Otherwise, we're going to use that weight to add more for the core. So we're going to bring the weight over the head. Then as you lift your leg, we're going to bring that weight down towards the shin without touching the leg. And then back, and then down, and then back. So this is going to get a little more of a curl and crunch effect on the upper body because we're actually now kind of curling the upper body towards the leg as you lift. And we're getting some shoulders in. We're going to change this to a side D and another 4, 3, 2, 1. Now as you lift the leg, we're going to twist and twist and twist. So we're kind of bringing the weight towards the body and then twisting towards that lifting knee. So now we're getting a little more oblique. And I promise we'll stretch out your psoas and your hip flexors because they're probably going to feel this the most tomorrow. So we just got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Come back to center, roll out the shoulders. Again, take the legs into a nice wide straddle. We're going to fold forwards between the legs. You can use the arms kind of against the inner thighs, maybe the inner calves, to press the knees out to stretch the insides of the hips a little more. And then again, come back up to seated. We're going to come to just a little twist. And then a twist the other direction. Good. Last thing from seated, last thing here. We're going to grab your weights one more time. Now we're going to bring the legs as close together as we can. If this doesn't work, you're free to go back to a wide straddle if that feels like it's going to give you more range of motion. So now we're going to hinge forwards, but when you hinge forwards, we're still keeping the back as straight as possible. So we're not kind of letting the shoulders drop to the knees and pushing the spine to the wall. Kind of keep that chest lifted. So all we're doing is hinging from the hip. We're going to take this into a fly. So imagine you were holding a beach ball out in front of you, and we're going to open the arms out, keeping the hands relatively in line with the shoulders, and then come back in. We're not going to do that many of these because they're pretty tough from a seated position. So we're going to open for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the weight in, up to the chest. Now we're going to take both of those weights. Again, if you can grab them in both hands as like one weight, then try to do that. Now we're going to bring the arms behind the head. Take a moment to just let the weight sort of hang there. So you get a bit of a stretch in the shoulders, the back of the arms. And then we're going to go into triceps. So starting weights together, straight up to the ceiling, and then slowly back down behind the back. Up and then down. And we want to try to get the arms as straight as possible without locking the elbows. Try not to let the shoulders hike up and down as you lift the weights. Keep drawing the shoulders down even as the weights go overhead. Good. 4. We're going to do single arms in 3, 2, 1. Now as the weights come behind the back, you're going to separate the weights. Keep one weight behind the head, lift the other. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other weight's going to hang out as the other one lifts and lowers. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to drop, lift both, bring them over the head, set the weights down now. Extend your right arm forwards out in front of you. Take your left thumb, place it underneath the right wrist, your left fingertips on top of the right hand. You're just going to give that wrist a little stretch down and back. Now, as you're in this position, you're going to try to touch your pinky to your thumb. That just engages the muscle in the thumb, which is actually one of your most important arm-hand muscles. And it's one of the first ones to get weak as we age. Go ahead, release that, flip the hands to the palms up. Now the thumb's going to go under the wrist, the fingertips to the top of the palm. You're going to draw the palm down and back as you press the heel of the hand forward. This is one of the few stretches that will stretch your bicep. Good, release that, we'll just switch sides. So starting palm down, thumb under the wrist, fingers on top, drawing the palm down, and then you're going to try to squeeze thumb to pinky. Good. Rotate that up. Thumb now under the wrist, fingers on top of the palm. Press the heel of the hand forward, draw the palm back. Good. Go ahead, release that. Roll out the shoulders. And then we're going to finish stretching on the floor. So take your time to get down to the floor, move your chair out of the way. If it's in the space of your mat, once you get to the floor, you're going to come into as wide a straddle as you comfortably can for your leg. Just feel free to keep a soft bend in the knees. You might even place a pillow or a block under each knee. And then here, we're going to start forward fold. So just walking the hands as far forward between the legs as you can safely. Again, don't worry about how straight the legs are. From this position, we'll walk your hands over to the right leg. Back to center, and then over to your left leg. Good. Back to center. Go ahead, bring it in. And then we're going to slide hands under each leg so you can bend the knees, bring them in. Now we're going to come onto your back. Make your way to the floor, however you get there the most comfortably. Have the feet on the floor in a position that's safe. And then the feet are going to be a little wider than the hips. We'll windshield wiper your knees a few times, side to side. Good. From here, heel toe the feet in so that the feet touch at center or about hip width distance apart. And again, you're going to windshield wiper. So this one is just a little bit different. Having the feet wide is more for the hips. Having the feet together is more a twist for the back. Good. And then hold the knees at center. You're going to draw the right knee as close into your chest as you can, and then extend the left leg forwards out in front of you as much as it will. Extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Flex, point your foot, circle your ankle. Rebend the right knee into the chest. Now you're going to take your right knee into your right palm. Open your right knee out to the right. Bend the right elbow so that the right elbow can be the anchor for the right leg. And you're just going to open that right leg out like it's in a half floating butterfly. You can also bring the right hand to the inside of the right knee and kind of use the right hand as well to press the right knee open. Doesn't matter how deep the bend is on the legs either. Good. Bring the right knee back to center. We're going to give it just another little hug into the chest. Then you'll set the right foot down. Slowly draw the left leg into the chest. And you're going to hug that left knee in as tight as it'll go and extend the right leg forwards. Left leg will extend any amount up to the ceiling. Flex points, circle the ankle, get some movement into the foot. And then again, rebend the left knee. Now cradle the left leg. So it does not matter how bent the left knee is in the left palm. Use the left elbow as an anchor to support the weight of the left leg as it opens out to the left. Good. Bring the left knee back to center. Now you're going to bring the right knee up to meet the left. Keep a slight bend in both knees, like the feet were flexing forwards in front of you. Bring both hands to the inside of both of your thighs. You're going to open the knees out like a frog. So rather than a happy baby with the feet flexing the ceiling, you're doing an upside down frog position, opening the knees, flexing the feet to the wall in front of you to target more of the groin and hip flexor area that we were just using. Good. Bring that back up. Extend the legs to the ceiling as much as they will. And again, you're going to open the legs as wide as they'll go, using the hands for support. So you can wrap the hands around the outsides of the legs. You can have the hands on the insides of the legs. Whatever feels good as you're in a straddle. Good. Bring the legs back together again. Take just a moment, legs above the head. And then bend the knees back into the chest. Take some circles with the knees. Circling both directions. And then we'll roll over to one side. Take your right, take your left. And then from your side, go ahead, lift yourself up to seated. Whatever seated position works for you, sit up nice and tall. Let's take a big inhale, circle your arms. Exhaling, arms down. One more time, big inhale. And exhale.